Hey friends, hello and welcome to Learn with Lakshman. We'll talk about practical criticism today. Let's first of all try to understand what is the meaning of the word practical criticism. Practical criticism is a form of literary analysis which focuses exclusively on the text. It doesn't pay any attention to the questions like what is the intention of the author and in which historical context a particular poem is written. It is said that I.A. Richards began the tradition of practical criticism in England. His research publication entitled Practical Criticism, a Study of Literary Judgment, published in 1929, became a kind of handbook for the discipline of practical criticism. Practical criticism takes into consideration the length of the poem, the mood of the poem, the type of poetry, the stanza patterns, the rhyme scheme, and the metrics involved in the line of the poem at hand. We've discussed about the poetic types or types of poetry in the video on practical criticism part 1. In this video, we'll talk about the stanza patterns in particular. It is very important to understand the stanza patterns if you really want to go for the close reading of the poem. Understanding stanza patterns help us in understanding the exact meaning of the lines of the poem. Therefore, let's try to understand the various stanza patterns available in English poetry. Sometimes these stanza patterns are also called patterns of rhyme in English poetry. We are going to have a separate video on the rhyme schemes in English. Rhymed verse is usually extended into larger patterns of units which are called stanzas. These are groups of a definite number of lines bound together by a rhyme scheme that reappears in successive groups. Now let's try to understand each of the stanza patterns in detail. Couplet. These are the stanzas of two lines. The aesthetic quality of the couplet is its lightness, rightness, and condensation. They can be further divided into closed couplet and open couplet. Open couplet are the rhymed couplets in which the second line will be run on instead of end stopped. Open couplets lend themselves to added indefinitely AA, BB, CC, DD, and so on. Let's have a look at this example. A thing of beauty is joy forever. Its loveliness increases, it will never pass into nothingness, but still will keep a bower quite for us and asleep. See, in this example, the first couplet runs into the next. Therefore, it is called an open couplet. A thing of beauty is joy forever. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness, but still will keep a bower quite for us and asleep. This is a stanza from John Keats's poem Endymion. Closed couplet. Closed couplets are self-contained with the end-stopped lines. The heroic couplet is a closed couplet in iambic pentameter. It reveals a logical balance and antithesis. Couplets can also be written in iambic tetrameter and anapaestic pentameters. For example, know then thyself, presume not God as can, the proper study of mankind is man. These lines are taken from Alexander Pope's essay on man. Alexander Pope's Rape of the Lock and John Dryden's Absalom and Achitophel are the poems written in closed couplets. Closed couplets are delightful to listen and are easy to remember. Triplets. Triplets are also called three-line stanzas. Three successive rhyming lines used as a variation in a sequence of heroic couplets are known as a triplet. Have a look at this example taken from John Dryden's Macflackney. Now stop your noses, readers all and some, for here is a ton of midnight work to come, or from a Trojan tavern rolling home. Look at the ending words of these lines. Some, come, home. These words rhyme together, therefore this is called a triplet. Three rhyming lines of any length forming an independent stanza are called a tercet. Often these rhyming lines form the part of a sonnet. The rhyme scheme is AAA, BBB, CCC, and so on. Tennyson used this form in his poem Two Voices. Have a look at the stanzas from Tennyson's poem Two Voices. A still small voice spake unto me, Thou art so full of misery, were it not better not to be? Then to the still small voice I said, Let me not cast in endless shade what is so wonderfully made. Terza Rima. Terza Rima consists of a series of tercets, each stanza linked to following one by rhyming in the scheme ABA, BCB, CDC. The whole poem is tightly linked by its rhymes. Some of the examples of Terza Rima are Dante's Divine Comedy, Audun's The Sea and the Mirror, and Thomas Kinsella's Downstream. Take a look at a few lines from Shelley's West Wind, which is a fine example of Terza Rima. Quatrains. Quatrains are four-line stanzas. Quatrain is the most common stanza form in English poetry. It has certain spaciousness and grandeur. A quatrain may be two couplets, that is AABB, or it may be alternate rhyme, that is ABAB. See this example of quatrain taken from Blake's The Cloud and Pebble. Love seeketh not itself to please, nor for itself has any care, but for anther gives its ease, and builds a heaven in hell's despair. The Troilus stanza. The Troilus stanza is also called Varaim Royal. This is stanza of 7 decasyllabic lines rhyming ABA, BCC. It was first used in English by Chaucer for his Troilus and Cressida. The meter is usually iambic. The Ottava Rima. The Ottava Rima is the most famous of 8-line stanzas. It consists of 8 lines of iambic pentameter rhyming ABA, BAB, CC. It has been used quite successfully in long poems such as Byron's Don John and W.H. Audun's Letter to Lord Byron. The Spenserian stanza. The Spenserian stanza is the most notable of all 9-line stanzas. It consists of 8 pentameter lines followed by an alexandrine rhyming ABA, BBC, BCC. This stanza was invented by Edmund Spenser and used it in Fairy Queen. It is also used by Byron in Childe Harold, by Robert Burns in The Cotter's Saturday Night, and by John Keats in The Eve of St. Agnes. Sestet. Sestet is a 6-line stanza. It was generally used as volta in the Petrarchan sonnet. Milton's On His Blindness is a good example of sestet. The sestet in the Petrarchan sonnet generally rhymes CDE, CDE, or CDC, CDC. Octave. Octave is an 8-line stanza. It is generally seen that the first part of the Petrarchan sonnet is an octave with the rhyme scheme ABBA, ABBA. Again, Milton's On His Blindness is a good example of Petrarchan sonnet in which you can see first octave rhyming ABBA, ABBA. Friends, we have discussed stanza patterns in this video, but stanza patterns can be understood better only when we understand rhyme schemes and metrics. I would request you to go to the videos on rhyme schemes and metrics and see them and try to understand stanza patterns, metrics and rhyme schemes together. Hope this was a useful video and you have liked it. If you have liked it, then press the like button, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe for the channel if you have not subscribed yet. Thank you very much for watching.